Hello everybody, so today I'm going to be doing my 6-month skateboarding update video. I started skateboarding back in June 2020, this past summer, and I actually ended up doing a 1-month skateboard update, which I'll just give you a quick recap. Basically, I learned how to ollie during that 1 month. It wasn't really good ollie, but it was an ollie nonetheless. I went to a skate park for the first time. I went down a small ramp for the first time. So I was kind of just like dabbling with the idea of ramps and everything. So now it is currently January of 2021 and I'm just gonna show you guys what I've learned so far in the past 6 months. Okay, so even though in the first month I kind of like was able to do an ollie, I knew they were nowhere near perfect and I was really focusing on trying to improve them. So this clip is from August 10th and it's just me basically practicing my ollies. So I also started to film basically all of my clips in slow motion because I found that that was the easiest way to see what I was doing, like what I was doing wrong. And my ollies look a lot more impressive in slow motion anyways, so those ones are looking okay. You know, sometimes I would get a good pop but wouldn't get a good slide with my other foot. Sometimes I'd get a good slide but not a good pop. So I was really struggling to get the timing right and do both of those moves at the same time so that I could actually get like a good ollie. So yeah, I was doing the right technique, just not at the right time, I think. So once again, I'm really struggling to get like a good pop. And also when I'm sliding my foot like up the board, I feel like I'm not completing the movement because when I land back down, I'm always landing back on only one set of wheels when you kind of want to land flat on both set of wheels. So I was trying really hard, but like still wasn't really coming together quite yet. That one was actually pretty good in my opinion, at least for one of my earlier ollies. You can see I got a pretty good pop there, and then it almost landed on all my wheels, so that wasn't that bad actually. This was about the time too that we were going to the skate park a lot more frequently, and one of my favorite things to do was practice my kick turns on a small ramp. So as you can see in this video, this was one of the first times that I could actually like do a complete turn on the ramp, even though it was like I had to turn like 3 or 4 times just to like make it around. I think that was one of the first times that I could actually go up and back down. So that was like really exciting and like a big step for me. As you can see, like I said, the ollies that I don't do in slow motion do not look impressive at all. But I do think it's important to also film them not in slow motion too, because sometimes like when you keep looking at these slow motion videos, it gives you the illusion that you're in the air for a lot longer than you are. So you kind of need like a bit of a reality check to be like, okay, like my ollies aren't that good. Like I obviously still need to improve on them. So I think at this point I was getting a lot better at doing a good pop and like following through with like the rest of the movements. So still not amazing, but the timing of everything's definitely a lot better here. This next clip is from August 23rd. Okay, so this day is kind of traumatic. I was like really getting comfortable with my ollies and I was getting really confident. As you can see, they're actually getting quite high for me, and I was just doing them like very consistently. But I decided that, you know what, I'm getting pretty good at my ollies. I think now should be the time that I should try like a moving ollie, because I feel like that's kind of like naturally the next step. So I just went for it. And it's like, okay, cool, like not a bad first attempt. I even landed it. But then it went very, very wrong. I think this is probably the worst fall I've ever done. Yeah, that one hurt a lot. So I think how I went wrong here is I landed too far on one side of my board and like all my weight was put onto one side. So then the board ended up just like shooting out from underneath me. So as you can see, I landed first on my hand and then on my hip, I guess. And luckily I didn't get hurt really that bad. Like I could have definitely broken something here. So I'm really happy that that didn't happen. But I did have some pretty nasty bruises and scrapes. The bruise on my hip that developed over time, that was like pretty nasty. It was a pretty big bruise and it hurt a lot too. So after this, I took a little break from moving ollies. So this was around the time we were spending a lot of time at the skate park, and this was when I was getting a lot more comfortable going up and down the ramps, and I was getting like a lot better at kick turns and everything. And so this is a video where I was kind of just like, I like to call it like a circuit, because at this skate park you can kind of go in like a continuous circle and like do a start to finish kind of thing. And then at the time, I just couldn't quite complete my kick turn on this like bigger ramp. I just couldn't do it. I would always do like a half a turn, a quarter of a turn. I couldn't do a complete one. Yep. But as you can see, I was getting a lot more comfortable, especially doing, I don't know what it's called, when you literally just like go up the ramp and come back down and like you don't turn or anything. I could do that pretty good. Then this clip is from September 7th. I was filming some ollies at regular speed. Yeah, those clips are not that impressive. I don't think I was like doing so great that day. And also I started to develop like a turn as I did my ollies. I never really did that before, but suddenly I found I was like turning around. I don't know how that happened. Turn. There you go. Okay, so this is when they recently built like a new bowl at like a park nearby. So me and Emily wanted to go like check it out. And it was definitely a little more advanced for us, considering we don't even know how to drop in. But you know, we still gave it a try. I kind of just like went down the little ramp, and then I was like too scared to like do a kick turn and turn around or anything. Honestly, it doesn't look that steep in like the video, but in real life, like it was quite a steep bowl. So I was getting like a few in there. They're not like very high at all, but I was like super determined to improve my ollie. And then here is when I could finally complete like the circuit. I could finally do a complete kick turn, so this was really exciting for me. Yes! Wow! So once again, I'm going around the same circuit, like doing the turns and everything. And then when it came to that big ramp, I could finally do a full turn on it. And then I even did a turn at the end, which was hard for me too, because like that ramp doesn't have a lot of space, so you really have to like turn all the way. So that was really cool. So yeah, these were kind of just like a speed run like of ollies where I would just like go one after the other. So I was like doing them, but they're still really small. I was focusing a lot more on trying to slide my foot up higher because I never completely slide my foot all the way up the board. I just slide it a little bit. And I think that's why my ollies were so small, is because I wasn't completing that like sliding and like scooping kind of movement. So here I was trying really hard to like get that foot higher. And I think the normal speed ollies are starting to look a little bit more impressive. So here I figured was a good time to get back into some rolling ollies. This time I was going a lot slower and being a lot more careful. So I got like a few half decent pops in there, but like wasn't completing the movement. I don't know. Rolling ollies are like so much scarier and they're so much harder. I really don't know why I can't do it. So this is from October 14th. We discovered this new skate park.
Yeah!
Once again, just practicing some more ollies. So once again, I was focusing really hard on sliding my foot higher, which was kind of screwing me up a little bit on the pop because it's hard to focus on like so many things at once. So I was just trying to get like the timing of all that right. And I think that was really helping because that last one looked pretty good to me. Like I feel like I was getting higher. So once again with the rolling ollies, I was getting a little more comfortable like popping and everything, but I wasn't getting any air. Also, this was when I finally got some like safety equipment, which I don't know why it took me so long to get, but it definitely made me feel a lot safer and a lot more confident to try out different tricks. And this was the day where I decided I wanted to learn how to go off the curb for the first time because I felt like all I was doing was practicing ollies and I just like really wanted to learn something else. So this trick is definitely like really scary, but I feel like after a couple times it's not that bad, especially like the first couple times I didn't do it right and I kind of tripped. It made me realize, okay, like if I screw it up, like I didn't fall, like it's not that bad. So that was really exciting to learn that one. There's like a couple pretty good ones in there. So I think I was definitely, you know, getting better. And then here are some more rolling ollies, this time in slow motion. So that last one actually wasn't that bad. Like I feel like if I got a good pop, I maybe would have got some air. And then I was practicing going off the curb more, this time like a little bit more fast. And then this was when I learned, I don't even know what it's called. It's when you like go up the ramp and then instead of just coming back down, you like turn to face like the correct way.
I know, oh my god.
So that's when I learned how to do that. Super scary. I don't know why. I thought it was as soon as I turned I was gonna fall. Yeah, it doesn't look that impressive, but like that was a big deal for me. And then here's just a little slow-mo of my kick turns. Which I was also just getting like super comfortable with because I was doing them so often. So this was from November 4th. We went back to that skate park that we discovered and there was this like spot where it was kind of like two staircases almost, but they're like kind of far apart, so it's like two levels you could go down. So I was like, oh, you know, if I can go off one curb, I feel like I can go off two in a row. So that's what I was trying to do.
Okay, wait.
So I could go off the one, but for some reason I just couldn't go off the other that was like immediately after. feel like I just mainly was not jumping high enough. I think that's something you don't realize when you're ollieing, is like you really have to jump like high. I was really focusing on sliding my foot more, which was good. But I also think here I was trying to jump higher, which helped. Here I was kind of revisiting the idea of dropping in. If you remember from my 1 month update, I was kind of already practicing that and I hadn't really done it in a while. So I was like, I should probably do that. I was really chickening out this day. Like I was really feeling scared. So the first time I got Emily to hold my hands.
Wait, no. Still hold me. Oh, that wasn't good. I think that's what. Go for it, girls. Oh, yeah.
And then luckily I was able to do it by myself, but man, it is so scary because you have to go super quick. If you hesitate at all, like that's when it's gonna go south. So, and this isn't like really dropping in because I'm not really dropping into a bowl. I'm just like dropping onto a ramp. So it's not as steep or anything, but I think it's a good practice to kind of like get familiar with like how it feels, I guess.
Why is ollieing while moving so much harder?
Once again, practicing those rolling ollies, not really improving that much. Okay, so that was like a little bit scary. I was basically just like riding the bowl, but from like the opposite side that I ride. And that was scary because once I wiped out, so I was always like a little bit afraid to do it again, but I did it. So this is from November 20th, and this was actually the last time that I went skateboarding. Okay, so I think these are definitely some of my best ollies, probably the highest ones I've ever done. And I think it was because I was really trying to jump as high as I could. I was getting a pop, I was getting the slide. I feel like I was really getting the timing right on everything. And I know they're not perfect, but I think they've definitely improved a lot since the beginning, obviously, but even just like a month or so back. And then on this day, I was kind of like, damn, I've been skateboarding for 6 months and the only trick I really know how to do is an ollie. So I was like, I want to learn something new today. This is really embarrassing, but this was my first attempt at a kickflip. I literally had no idea what I was doing. I never even watched like a tutorial or anything on how to do it. So this is just like what I imagined I should be doing. Obviously I was not doing it right at all, but I just thought I'd include it because I thought that was funny. I also wanted to try doing a shove it. I kind of like attempted to do this before, but that day I really wanted to try and do it. So I moved onto the grass and I was really determined to land one that day. But yeah, as you can see, I got some like pretty good turns in. I just couldn't quite land it. So yeah, that is pretty much my skateboarding journey so far. I'm pretty proud of myself because like when I look back to when I started, you look at other people doing these things and you're like, wow, I honestly don't think I'm ever going to be able to do that. Like it just seems so hard and so out of reach, so far away. And the fact that I can do a lot of those things now is just like so cool. And I honestly feel like I have never found a sport that I have loved as much as skateboarding. Like I wish I started it so much sooner. Like I could be so good by now. So I will probably do a 1-year update in the summer. So I'm just gonna say some goals that I want to achieve by then. So I think one of my biggest goals is to learn how to drop in, which is really scary to me. Yeah, that's one of my goals, to drop in and start learning more tricks like on the ramps and that sort of thing. I want to learn how to ollie while moving. That's a really big one. I want to land a shove it for sure. And I don't know, maybe this goal is like unachievable or like too out there, but I do want to try to learn how to do a kickflip. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for following my skateboarding progress. If you stumbled upon this video because you also have a skateboarding video, a skateboarding progress video, like definitely let me know and I'll go check it out because I really like watching other people's progress. It's really cool. But anyways, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next week. Bye.